So, before today's review, I wanted to say something really quick, just to kind of, because it's still fresh, I guess you could say. So, if anybody knows the Vape Stew community and the Stooge community, there's a couple people that are considered OGs within that community itself, and unfortunately, we just found out today that a good friend of ours within that community passed away this morning on his birthday due to COVID-19. And I just wanted to kind of I guess I'm going to dedicate this review and what we usually do here on this channel on Thursdays when it comes to drinking beer and just at the end of the stream. I'm going to dedicate this review to our good friend over in the Vape Stew community, Mr. Dave Satek. You're a good friend. You always were there to bring that kind of some of those like snarky remarks at times. Just be yourself, and you always kept it real. No matter what kind of conversation, there were deep conversations, there were just bullshitting conversations, but overall, you were one of the realest ones that could be in this community. So I wanted to dedicate this review for our good friend that we lost today, unfortunately, to COVID-19. And so this review is going to be dedicated to our good friend Mr. Dave Satek. So, getting into what we're going to be drinking today. We're going to be drinking one. I don't think I've reviewed a beer from this brewery before, so I'm pretty damn excited because I think I've had a couple beers from this brewery before, but it's not really to the point where it's like I've had enough to kind of make them noticeable in my opinion. So I'm excited to try this one out because we got one from Moonraker Brewing Company out of Auburn, California, I believe it is. And we got some of this, probably some of the coolest can art on a beer that I've seen before. We got some video feedback IPA from Moonraker Brewing Company. And just, I don't know if the light's kind of capturing it enough, but it has that like infinite kind of beer can kind of picture, which I think is really, really cool. This guy comes in a whopping 7% ABV, and it's just a double dry hopped IPA brewed with Citra, Amarillo, Azacca, and Eldorado hops. So I'm expecting with all these different hops in there, 4 different hops, there's going to be a nice notes of a really nice balance of tropical fruit and great bright citrus notes in here, because literally all 4 of these hops have some kind of citrusy note in there that is brought out. So I'm expecting just a really hazy, citrusy, tropical fruit bomb in my face, which definitely something is needed like that right now, even though the past 3 days have been IPAs. But, well, no, not 3 days. Yeah, just the past 2 reviews have been IPAs. So, yeah, this is a 7% ABV. I believe it's only 30 IBU, so I'm not expecting much hoppy bitterness to it. It might be a slight natural hoppy bitterness to it, but not enough to where it's like a high IBU rating kind of flavor. So, without further ado, let's crack this guy open and see what this thing's all about. Oh yeah, very bright and citrusy already. Definitely getting like notes of like grapefruit, maybe little like pineapple-y mango kind of stuff on the background. But really, really like bright orange, grapefruit, citrusiness right on the nose. Definitely feel like there's going to be a nice little, like maybe a little bit of a sweetness to it. But overall, I just think it's going to be nice, bright, vibrant, hazy, tropical citrus juice bomb in my face. So without further ado, let's pour this guy. Going to be, oh come on. Anybody else have problems with their coaster sticking to their glass? Be drinking out of my Whistle Punk glass this afternoon. Let's see how this guy pours. Yep, just as I expected. Nice and hazy. Definitely has more of that kind of brighter yellow haze to it. Has a really nice kind of white pillowy head to it. But yeah, that just looks absolutely delicious, if I say so myself. Has a really nice color to it. Kind of has that orange juicy kind of vibe. Oh yeah, definitely getting more of those hoppy notes coming out on the nose a little bit more. Maybe more of that bright kind of, definitely more bright and vibrant citrus. Definitely getting like a nice kind of tropical fruit, maybe like a mango-y kind of flavor from the hops in there. Maybe that might add a little bit of a sweetness to it. But without further ado, let's give this guy a try. So cheers, everybody. Happy Thursday. Oh yeah, that's delicious. Absolutely delicious. Straight citrus in your face when it comes to getting notes of grapefruit. Get a little bit of like a lemony orange kind of note in there. That just makes it absolutely refreshing on the mouth. Definitely has a nice pillowy mouthfeel to it. Really, really bright, vibrant. A little bit of like slight tropical fruit notes from the hops in here. Getting like a little bit of like a mango-y pineapple. Maybe a little bit of like a passion fruit kind of stone fruity kind of vibe at the end. But yeah, absolutely delicious. Has a nice kind of sweetness that kind of covers the palate at the end. But it's like a nice hoppy sweetness. It's not like a malty or a bready kind of sweetness. It's definitely a natural sweetness that is coming out of the hops from the kind of fruitier flavors that are coming out of the hops as well. So yeah, this is pretty damn delicious. Yeah, and with it being a 7%, there's no really booziness to it whatsoever. It's just super refreshing. This is definitely something that I would consider like a perfect beer for like a warm summer day. So let's see what Untapped have to say about this one. So before I kind of check, I always look to see what my dad kind of gave this as a rating on Untapped. So he gave it a 3.75 out of 5, which is pretty damn good. But before we kind of go through what the global ratings on this one are, let's look at see what Untapped clarifies as similar beers to this. So that's not comparing any more Moonraker for a similar beer, but there's a couple other breweries that might be in your area that I name off here, and if you can't get Moonraker, you can possibly look out for these and see if you can get this one yourself. So what we're looking at here, the first one we got is from Civil Society Brewing, which they have the Tricked Out Golf Cart, and then the Boston Beer Company, aka Sam Adams. They got the Sam Adams Wicked Double on there as something they would recommend as a similar beer. Let's see, we got one from Anchor Brewing Company called the Tropical Hazy IPA. And then we got one from Fieldwork Brewing Company called Juiced Like Heaven. And then one from Georgetown Brewing Company called War Child. I actually like the name of that, so that's 7.5. Looks like a nice hazy IPA. So they definitely named off some probably very similar, more tropical citrus kind of noted IPAs on here. Let's see, there's a bunch of verified locations when it comes to this. You might be able to find some Moonraker in, let's see, in Bangkok. I guess they sell some of their stuff in McKellar, Bangkok over there. So let's see, so Thailand. So let's see, you got Sparks, Nevada at the Huntsman Tavern is a verified location for some Moonraker, along with Seaside, California at Lynn's Arcade and Pinball, and then in Wheatland, California for Big Al's Market. So yeah, but kind of looking at more on what the actual ratings on Untapped are. So we got, like I said, 7% ABV, 30 IBU, which is not really getting much of a hoppy bitterness to this at all. It's just I'm getting the hoppy notes in here, but it's a more vibrant, citrusy kind of, just really refreshing, really not adding a bitterness to the hops at the end of this. So with over 3,409 ratings, this one has an average rating of 4.17 out of 5, which is pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. For being a nice sessionable IPA, this definitely has a pretty high rating on this one. Yeah, Ian, you'd be under the table after 3 of those? Hey, sometimes, well, when it comes to 7%, that's like kind of my threshold of being a sessionable IPA, in my opinion. Because once it gets like past like 7.5, that's what I considered something that's like, I wouldn't consider it as sessionable, but for me, 7% IPAs are way in that sessionable realm, in my opinion. So let's see what other people had to say about this one. So let's see, this person gave it a 4.25, purchase at the Curtis Park Market. Let's see, where's the Curtis Park Market? I wonder where that's. Probably in California somewhere. Yep, in Sacramento. So let's see what else we got. This guy gave it a 3.5 out of 5. Let's see. This guy gave it a 4 out of 5. Purchase at the Market Modesto, I guess. I guess that's in Modesto, California. Let's see. This guy gave it a 3.5. This guy gave it a 4.25. Purchase at the Uptown Market and Liqueur. Let's see. This guy gave it a 4 out of 5, saying that easy to drink, citrusy and light-bodied, bitter when it stopped drinking. A lot of weird hashtags on this check-in, but this guy purchased it at the Caps and Taps in, where is this? In Dublin, California. So yeah, this looks like it could be widely available around California, getting all the way down to Sacramento and all that. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I think this is a fantastic, easy drinking, nice, sessionable, like citrusy, tropical IPA, and they absolutely nailed what they were trying to do. This is definitely one of the beers that I would put on the probably up there on the top of my list for one of the best IPAs to drink when it's hot out, just because it's not too bitter. You're not going to get much of that hoppy bitterness coming through. You're just going to get mostly vibrant citrus and tropical fruit notes that come through on this, and it's just very easy drinking, very refreshing, and it's just a nice hazy juice bomb, which I'm always for one of those. To be honest, I absolutely love it. So let's see. Let's start thinking about what we're going to be doing for ratings on this guy. So let's think about can art. But before that, I pour the rest of it in my glass. Yeah, I think this is probably some of the best can art that I've seen in a while. I know my can art style is like more towards the gory and maybe like a lot of colorful characters and all the kind of stuff on there. But just the creativity they did with this one, where it's like you're holding the can and then somebody else is holding it in the background on there, and then it's like an infinite can on here, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Kind of creating that infinite mirror kind of look, where if you have like a 3-way folding mirror, you can kind of get like an infinite kind of look. So I think that is really cool. It's definitely one of the most unique can arts that I've seen in a while, just because you really don't see a lot of companies kind of standing out to that like boundary of something like this. That would, it's not like they're not using crazy colors, they're not using like gory artwork, they're making something that would be appealing to the eye in a different way. And it's like, I like how it's like punching through a wall. You can see like the broken like brick kind of things on the side. So having those like crack marks on there help take up a good amount of real estate on the can art, which I think is really cool. And of course the Moonraker Brewing Company logo is just clean and classy, which I always can appreciate. But yeah, I'd give this a solid like 4.5 out of 5 for can art. Really, really cool. This is definitely one that I'm definitely gonna hold on to when it comes to the label, just because I think it's pretty damn badass. So let's see. If I got this beer in a flight at Moonraker Brewing Company, would I get another one? Absolutely. This is definitely one to where it's like, if I was just looking for a nice sessionable hazy IPA, this would be on the probably up there as the top of my list for some of my favorite sessionable hazy IPAs for sure. Just everything about it hits the flavor profiles that I like. I'm a really big fan of bright citrusy notes. Really, really like the tropical fruit notes in here. So yeah, when it comes to hitting what I look for in a hazy IPA, 10 out of 10 for what I look for with a nice sessionable hazy. So I would definitely get another one of these in a flight for sure. Well, actually, I'd probably get a couple 4-packs to bring home just to have around the house for like a nice easy drinker. But let's start thinking what my final rating on this one is going to be. I think I'm going to give this a very, very solid 8.25 out of 10. Really, really good. If you can get your hands on this one from Moonraker, I definitely would recommend it. If you like nice, easy drinking, sessionable IPAs, this would definitely up there on something you should look out for. The crushability on this is probably top notch. It's like you're going to be having a real difficult time, and to be like you're drinking this and then you realize, oh crap, I finished this can so easily because it's that much of an easy drinker. Absolutely delicious. Big shout outs to Moonraker for coming out with this one. I think this one needs to be a regular on tap at the brewery. I think this would be an easy, probably like namesake sessionable IPA for that brewery, in my opinion at least. But other than that, I think that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are awesome. If you haven't already, please hit that like button. It would help me out a lot. Also, if you're new to the channel, like what you see, make sure you hit that subscribe button along with that notification bell. It'll let you know whenever I go live doing another review. And if you're looking to possibly get your hands on stuff from Moonraker, best opportunity for me, if you're not in the area that has them available, get yourself on Tavour. It's a great platform where it's a beer subscription service / beer delivery service, to where you just have to download the app, put in your zip code right away, and they'll tell you if they can deliver stuff to you. And you have the options of either doing like a build your own box like I do, where it's like you see all the beers that Tavour has available to them at the time, and you just kind of start building your box, and Tavour holds on to it until a certain time of the month, and then they ship that stuff to you for $15 flat rate shipping. Or you can do it to where you choose like kind of beers you like different flavor profiles when it comes to maybe like a stout or an IPA, or maybe different flavor profiles you're looking for. And Tavour will send you random beers that kind of fit that profile per month. So it's a really cool thing. Unfortunately, it may not be able to be delivered all over the country. That's why I recommend download the app, put in your zip code, and the app will tell you right away if you can get stuff delivered to you from them. The link to their website is down in the description below. Just click that link. It'll have a page where you can download the app, and then just do it that way. And if you're looking for a nice kind of other platform where it shows a bunch of people checking in beers, like kind of like a social media platform I always like using. You can see people like me, Kentucky, Ian, Duchess, Not the Real Gerard Butler, the Typhons. We're all on there. We're checking in beers all the time. Always get yourself on Untapped. It's a really cool thing. You drink beer, check them in, get badges, and just it's really, really fun. I always love kind of seeing what other people are drinking. So if you haven't added me on Untapped yet, link to my profile is down in the description below for you guys. Shoot me a friend request. I want to see what other people are drinking as well, just so I can give ideas of maybe stuff that I can pick up, that if I can get it near me, sure. If somebody else gives it a good recommendation, I'll definitely pick it up. But other than that, that's pretty much what I have for you guys today. So thank you again, everybody, for hanging out. You guys are awesome. But other than that, we're gonna end this stream like I always do it on Thursdays, and this is gonna be a little bit of an homage and then like a little bit of a cheers to a good friend that we lost today. So I'm gonna raise my glass to Mr. Dave Satek. We're gonna miss you, brother, and hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, fantastic evening, and remember, if you're gonna drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive, and cheers, everybody. See ya.